Next.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bruno.
Hi, I'm Hollis Silverman, and that was a really good quote because being in a toxic relationship is like living in a delusion.
And a nightmare sometimes.
Yes.
So what is it, what are the qualities of a toxic relationship? How do you know when you're in one?
You know that you're in a toxic relationship when you feel completely isolated from your family, your friends, loved ones, coworkers. You feel completely worthless. You feel like you have no self-esteem or self-efficacy. You feel like you don't matter. You feel trapped, and you feel like you've just completely lost yourself.
Does there have to be physical abuse?
No, there does not have to be physical abuse. It can strictly just be psychological abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, and sometimes there's even sexual abuse. It's important to note, which is a form of obviously physical abuse, but it can be toxic relationship does not have to just come in the form of physical abuse. No.
And is it? I'm assuming that most people think about a male versus a female, but can a female be a perpetrator of a toxic relationship?
Absolutely. A female can absolutely be a perpetrator, whether it's to a man, whether it's to another woman, a man to a man, a woman to a woman, I mean, a man to a woman, I apologize. It doesn't matter. It's not discriminatory. Anybody can really be
Find themselves
in a toxic relationship no matter what.
So once you realize that you're in a toxic relationship, how do you get yourself away from that individual, that toxic person?
There could be really many reasons that you want to or find yourself willing to get out of that relationship with someone. You could have children or a child, and they are your motivation to get out of that toxic relationship, especially if you want to show your child what a loving, caring relationship looks like. You would want to get out of a toxic relationship if you're exhausted and you know that you're worth more than what the toxic relationship has to offer. You want to get out of a toxic relationship, or maybe you're ready to, if you have a lot of familial and friend support. You're very lucky, and that can be helpful. You don't want your family and friends to suffer because they do suffer when you are in that type of pain and you're in that situation.
Do you find at all that there are personality traits or like matches of personality when it comes to a toxic relationship? And to be more specific, do you find that maybe borderline personalities find dependent personalities, or dependent personalities find borderline personalities, and then they have this toxic relationship?
Yes, I find that match actually quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually also say that somebody with a borderline personality type or has traits of that with someone who has narcissistic traits, they tend to get together quite a bit, and there's a lot of toxicity and poison in that
would be more like combustible, like, because I see those types of personalities feeding off of each other versus a borderline and a dependent. The borderline really has control over the dependent.
Absolutely.
And the dependent willingly gives up the control as well.
Absolutely. And those, I mean, you do tend to see the borderline and the narcissist. If they have those traits, yes, that will probably create even 10 times more toxicity than would the borderline and the dependent. Yes, because the borderline would have way more control, and the dependent, yes, right, Dr.
Really
would allow it.
I was like, yes.
Oh, so it's very, very troublesome, but there are ways to get out, and there are things that you can remember and tell yourself every day to stay out of a toxic relationship. You're worth more than that. I believe, Dr. Bruno, that everybody is unique. Everybody brings purpose to this world, and nobody should be made to feel like they're anything but a unique, special person. And if you're anything but happy in your relationship, don't stick around for it.
No, it's better to be alone than with somebody who doesn't value you. And one last note, if you do find yourself in this type of relationship and you feel like there are some real safety concerns, then a safety plan with somebody that you trust, or therapist, friends, a shelter, anything or anybody to develop. So have a bag of clothes, have some cash, have your another set of papers, because that's another way people control the individuals through holding their identification, and in somebody else's home, so that if you really need to run and get out with the clothes that are on you, you can, and you're not fearful that you're starting from scratch, or that you could be possibly manipulated to come back because you don't have those things. So that's very important.
Yes, yes. Documentation is everything. Social security card, if you have a green card, license, yes, those documents are
Banking, all of that.
very important.
So, and if you don't, safety deposit box, or sometimes I tell my clients to go to U-Storage. Some of them have little tiny storage components that you can use instead. So those are some practical advice. So
Absolutely.
well, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Stay tuned for more information.
Bye.